The following game has been rated T for teen by the ESRB for fantasy violence, mild language, and drug references. That means anyone under the age of 13 should not be watching this video. You have been warned. Greetings and salutations, I am Outlier and I bid you welcome to this channel. Joining me today is of course my usual co-hosts, Snowball and Wolf. And today we're returning back to Starpoint Gemini Warlords. So the premise of the Starpoint Gemini series is that you take on the role of a starship captain doing starship things. And what separates Starpoint Gemini Warlords away from every other entry in the series is that while in addition to doing the whole starship captain doing starship things, you're also in charge of one or more AI-controlled fleets, and you can have these fleets back you up in larger conflicts. You can have them fight your battles via proxy. You can even have a bunch of unseen civilian fleets run passive missions while you're off conquering the space that is known as the Gemini system. And for those unfamiliar with the storyline of the Starpoint Gemini series, it's a case that humanity gained the ability to travel the stars, formed an empire, and settled the, space. And one of the spaces that they've settled was the binary star system known as Gemini. And as all colonial, imperial relationships go, the Starpoint Gemini system was built up, settled, populated, industrialized, and eventually wanted its own say in its own destiny. So it fought a war of independence against its former masters in terms of the Earth Empire. Someone, I'm not still quite certain who, used reality and space and time-bending weapons and basically severed the whole of the Gemini system off from the rest of everywhere. And that's the gist of the first game. And the second game takes place after that, where at some point you manage to reestablish contact with everywhere else, and the old Earth Empire is apparently still the current Earth Empire. They invade, another war happens, and eventually, again, I'm not 1% familiar with exactly what happens, but eventually I'll probably play the rest of the series and find out exactly what happens. But until then, all I know is that an alien race of superior technology and might also fights the Earth Empire at the same time and actually crushes them. And the remnants of the Earth Empire have to take refuge in Gemini, and once whatever remnant of the Empire gets through, they reseal whatever they did to reopen the pathway from Gemini to everywhere else. So the old Earth Empire remnants settle on a planet known as Phaneros, creating a faction known as the Solari Concord. Essentially, they rebranded themselves. And this is relevant to Starpoint Gemini Warlords because the faction your character works for, if you follow the storyline, is the Solari Concord. You are not really descendant from the old Earth Empire. I believe the whatever happened in Starpoint Gemini 2 is still relatively new enough that the people who live in Phaneros and work and operate the Concord were originally Imperial members. But Gemini still remembers the Empire, and your faction isn't really well liked. And throughout the whole of the game so far, you've come across hostile faction after hostile faction. The most prominent is a pirate faction known as the Black Oath. And every time we think we're getting ahead, it turns out that we're not. And in fact, time and again, your character and his closest supporters end up falling into the hands of the Black Oath and essentially giving them A, what they want, and B, doing whatever it is that they want you to do. And if you haven't seen last episode, one of the things that they want you to do was to build a massive super weapon class capital vessel known as the Proxima. It's basically a weapon designed to, and sole purpose is, to basically assault and destroy planets as a means of conquering them. Now, throughout the entirety of the time of building up resources to build the Proxima, as well as researching all the various parts for it, because apparently while the Solari Concord left Earth with the blueprints, it's just basically a basic schematic on the back of a napkin, and they had to figure out how to build it before they could actually build it. But we built it, we used it, and then the Black Oath promptly stole it. Well, yes, but it doesn't help that the guy in charge and the person we gave the keys to is the one who stole it in the first place. And to top it off, in addition to now serving the Black Oath, our former boss also turned the Proxima against Phaneros, the planet that the Solari Concord had settled on. Basically turning the whole of its surface to, I believe the term is glass, although I've yet to actually land on the surface of the planet, so I don't actually know what's going on. Because it's in such bad condition, you can't actually re-land on the planet anymore. It's that level of a cataclysmic event. And to top it off, after we learn that the boss is a traitor, people we formerly fought against, because the Solari Concord had a small civil war in the time over the course of the game, is now in charge and basically berated us for building the thing in the first place. But we have a plan in place to essentially ensnare the Proxima, and if we can't outright destroy it, certainly disable it so that way it can't harm us or anybody else. We probably should have built in a remote turn-off device in the first place, but they say hindsight is 20/20, and well, I guess this is the turn-off device. And that's the point at which I'm picking it back up. And as such, this game is of course made by... Thank you again. And that being said, let us begin. Okay, so here we are at the Concordia station. And I would say this is right where we left it off because I haven't had a chance to play in between episodes, but that's not exactly true. I actually played quite a bit in between episodes. Because right now we have to build up to fight the Proxima, and I figured no one wanted to see me just run random mission after random mission, gaining enough cash to buy shiny new weapons. But if I look at the research screen, and look at... not so important. Refit, there we are. I've reached the tier 3 of every heavy and light weapon for the beam weapons, well, the energy-based weapons, I should say, the plasma-based weapons, and the kinetic weapons. As well as a few extra other little pieces of equipment. So I have some equipment to upgrade the fighter base, some equipment to Okay, to upgrade the grappler, some equipment to upgrade the transporter, and I forget what Halo does. Oh, something to enhance the shields. I also upgraded to the cruiser Zodiac Mark II, because that's important, because I can only field so many Borealises, and and having all 5 Borealises on the field at one time, plus with the War Masters, which are AI control, which are NPC characters with their own leveling schemes, I would need extra vessels, and the next ship up the largest ship that I have access to that doesn't need a super capital ship point is the cruiser. So I researched those, and extra boarding armor, if memory serves. Because you never know what fun things you can take through boarding action. But if I get dry docked, this is my loadout. And I have the Malchior 3s on both the port and starboard, turret bays, the Apophis 3 for the bow turrets, and the Severance 3 for the aft turrets. And of course it's beam weapons, port and starboard, plasma cannons 4, and railguns aft. I also have the Requiem 3 plasma torpedo, or fusion torpedo I should say, on the bow heavy emplacement, the Sentinel 3 for the port and starboard heavy weapon emplacements, and the Harbinger 3 missile for the aft heavy weapons placement. And I don't know where we picked up the Torch 3, but there it is. Haven't really changed out the fighter, just simply because there's no researchable fighter as far as I know. But I did spend the time enhancing everything. So fighter damage and fuel efficiency is actually slightly up. In fact, if I look at the Han, I can actually increase fighter HP and damage absorption by over 200%, increase damage, fighter damage by 75%, which is more than what it currently is, as well as fuel efficiency and fuel speed. So while I can technically research the Han 3, the Han 2 is 8 million, and the Han 3 requires more gas than I have. So let's actually upgrade that while I'm thinking about it, and that's in place. I also have upgrades for the transporter, propulsion, shields, mostly because we're going back into an EMP area and I need resistance for that. Increased sensor range as well as the grappler. And I also have enhancements for both the light and heavy weapons. The light weapon enhancement basically increases its range to over 6,000 measurement units. And the heavy weapons upgrade increases the blast radius, minimum and maximum damages. So the heavy weapons do more damage, and the light weapons fire farther away. So there's that. And if I look at shipbuilding, no, let's not look at shipbuilding real quick. Of course, all of that does come, of course, getting enough cash to do all of that does come at a cost, and my personal fleet, which actually should be renamed the Honor Armada, because that's the name I prefer. Anyway, so the Honor Armada took some beating. In fact, I had 5 Mark I Borealis carriers. I've lost 4 of them and had to replace them with the Mark IIs. Technically, it's an upgrade, but still. Nika had been taken out. Well, Nika and Terra had both been taken out once, and Maxon had to be was taken out twice. So I had to rebuy all of their ships as well. So, but that leaves me with a fleet power of 20,997. And in order to actually launch the next series, the next part, I need to have at least a fleet power of at least 25,000. So if I go back to the map and build ships, this is where the cruisers come in. So I basically scroll down here to the Zodiac Mark II and put in enough to get my fleet power over 25,000. I know I can do it with only 2, but you know, I have enough resources to build 3, so I'm building 3. Once I close that and close this, well, or not, Raynor Traceco's Regent. The Proxima has appeared in orbit of planet Faranos. I have no idea where that is. We must act quickly. And this is us. Let's go over the mission specs one last time. When you reach far enough, deploy the hyperjump trigger package on the Proxima. This will force it to make an emergency jump. The destination, as you know, will be the Maelstrom. To get to the Maelstrom and end it all. Proxima must not escape us this time. Any last advice to share? Get the fleets in position near the Maelstrom region to avoid the losses in the first fight. You'll need all the help you can get and load up on repair bots. You'll likely need them. Once you trigger the emergency jump, you won't have much time to get to Maelstrom. Everything clear? Anything else? Emmerichs will most likely use dirty tactics when we push him into the corner, so wait for the right opportunity to call your fleets in. Keep the main force out of the first fight and watch out for any traps in the Maelstrom. Understood. I'm on it. Let's finish this. Alright, so basically I need to...
reports one of our fleets have returned.
Okay, cool. So, basically one of my fleets has to... Where am I going? Oh. All the way down here. Cool. Where exactly is the Maelstrom again? I know it's in this general area, I think. Somebody's going to war with somebody, and it's down here. So these people are the Outlanders are assaulting with a fleet power of 18,039, and I'm defending with a fleet power of 17,141.
HQ sends word that one of our fleets have finished their task.
So if I do nothing, this station is going to be, well, lost. But you know what? I got all the resources that I need. I can always take it back. But I'm still going to rush defend it because that's how I work.
Affirmative. Engage sublight.
Can we not fly into Concordia? Apparently we flew through it. Oh, by the way, speaking of Concordia, go to the construction screen. In addition to upgrading the ship for just reasons because I felt like it, I also upgraded to the maximum every module on Concordia. So everything's all maxed out, and the station is as big and developed as it's going to get, at least until they have some sort of random extra DLC that changes the Proxima, that changes Concordia in some way. But given the age of the game and the fact that they are in the process of they've either finished making the next game after this, or they're still in the process of making Starpoint Gemini 3, so I highly doubt they're making new DLC for this thing. Anyway, can I...
Initiated. One of our fleets have finished their job.
Up. Alright, so I can actually jump all the way down here. So let's burn through the T drives and save this station.
Engaging sublight.
Oh, somebody brought a War Master. Cool.
Fire at will. Manual targeting disengaged.
Long time no see, Captain. Welcome back.
Cool. Let's kill everybody. I have a large vessel to hunt.
We're going down. Grovel before me.
Target is down.
That gunship goes away. This frigate is, well, gone. This frigate's dead before I can even look at it. This one. This battleship's taking a few hits, so let's fire off some heavy weapons. Oh, this one not did anything. Let's fire off heavy weapons again. And again. And the battleship is now dead. Oh, an Asgard class carrier.
Port shield is at half capacity.
Is this the War Master?
Port shield down to 25%, Captain.
That is the War Master, so let's actually cloak the vessel because I'm losing shields. And boost the shields. Then we advance through the breaching the hull.
Energy shields reinitialized.
Run through the cargo bay because I need more people. I need every person I can get. Run through the engine room to the med bay.
Let's get this mother.
With should get plenty of people back up, and all that's left is the carrier that I have boarded. Even the War Master is dead. I run past the shield generator and past weapons control to assault the bridge with 14 people. Gives me a 4% chance of completing it.
All hands, fire at will.
And I have failed.
Aft shield is
Kind
at
of
half
expected
capacity.
that.
Port shield is at half capacity.
Still, I'm assuming that there's going to be a carrier chapter after this, so it's either steal a carrier at every opportunity that I can, or buy one, which is a minimum 70 million, and that takes quite a little effort, quite a lot of effort to do. But anyway, so that's now done, and I apparently pick up more power currency in the form of plasma rifles. Okay then, where's the dock? Take the opportunity to sell everything, rearm, and apparently repair, because I apparently took some damage I did not realize.
We are bad.
That's interesting. Alright, so with that little nuisance out of the way, the next big question is, how do I split up my force? Because I know that we're going to have to hit the Proxima, and go down here, and then we're going to get it to jump to the Maelstrom. Now, the thing is, Maelstrom is somewhere in this area, I believe. So, if I'm going to have my fleets in position, or fleet I should say, in position right in this area, then they're going to need to travel up and through there. And since I jumped all the way down here, it's going to take a while. Conversely, because unlike where I just have them go in their own little directions, what I can do is just keep having my fleet follow me. Although, if I do send them up northwards, that would give... Stars are right here. I did not realize that. Anyway,
HQ reports one of our fleets have returned.
Alright, I got distracted, as I was saying. Sending the fleets to travel off on their lonesome would give time for the cruisers to be built. In fact, one of them is already built right now. Yay us. In fact, I even now have enough resources to add another Mark II Zodiac to the queue. Alright, so not 100% certain, but I don't think the game is actually timed to that extent. So what I'm going to do is actually jump all the way up here. And I should not be burning my T-drives like that. What's this? I have absolutely no idea what that is. But given close proximity, it's either the Neria, this gas collector, or this forward outpost. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to split my fleet in two. So the Borealises, the essentially backbone of the fleet, will transfer to a new armada. And they will be called Thunder Troops. I have absolutely couldn't think of a name, so I just figured I'd go with the default. Technically, the Honor Armada's default as well. So I'm going to have the Borealises hang out here, and I am going to personally head back to Concordia just to buy as many T-drive charges as I possibly can get.
Engage sublight.
and then have the War Masters follow me. So my plan is, it probably doesn't need to be this complex or in depth, but my plan is to basically use T-drives to get from down here, to quickly get down here, and then back up. Or at the very least use the T-gate. I think there's a T-gate nearby. Yeah, there's this T-gate, so worst comes to worst, I can always just use this T-gate to get to this planet, buy more T-drives, and then jump down here. From there, try to get the Proxima up to wherever it is in the Maelstrom, where the Borealises and whatever Zodiacs I happen to have built by that time will be waiting for it. And then use more T-drive charges to jump as far as I can to get as close to the Proxima, and then have everybody hit all at once. But I have absolutely no idea exactly how powerful the Proxima is going to be or what's going to be defending it, which is why the War Masters are coming with me. That's the plan. And plans never survive execution, so this is what I'm going to work with until I figure out what exactly is going on, at which point, who knows what's going to happen. I mean, they should be fine right there. Now the Maelstrom causes EMP damage, but unlike radiation, which eats your ship alive, I think EMP just harms shields. So it should be fine. Even if they're currently parked in the Maelstrom, they should still be fine.
Personal greetings to you, Captain. Always
cool.
welcome sight.
Cool, we're burning daylight. I'm fairly certain Raynor and the new boss, whose name currently escapes me, Councilwoman something 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 something, would prefer it if I just don't sit here. So let's buy all of these T-drives for less than $1 million.
May our paths cross again.
Affirmative. Engage sublight.
Wait for a fleet to, well, the other War Masters to show up. Oh, it's a freightliner. Interesting. Apparently I flew clean past the War Masters. So now I just wait for them to do their little dance. And when they finally do decide to show up, I mean, there's two of them right there. As my turrets just go off against the destroyer. Okay.
A curse upon your ship.
Okay, so that's Maxton. I have absolutely no idea. On the plus side, 2 cruisers are now built. That's Maxton. I don't quite know where the other two are. I mean, Nika's here, so I'm guessing the far-flung yellow skull icon, which designates War Masters, is Terra. Wherever she went. There she is. Alright. So let's enter the T-gate network here. And travel. No, we're not heading to the planet. We're going here. and we're coming out here, and then stopping off at the planet. Hello? Where are you going?
Course set.
Get to the gate. Clearly I'm gonna have to spoon feed the ship. And go here. There we are. Alright, and the Honor Armada is still with us.
Setting course.
So let's go to
Engaging sublight.
Hagotia. I've never actually been to this planet before. It's kind of neat looking, all nice and green, unlike Feneros. Even back when it was still habited. So just sell off all the random extra stuff I picked up. Doesn't have any access to the shipyard, so I can't actually, buy ships here. But if I look at equipment, they have 11 T-drives for sale, and I will buy them. Hopefully that'll be enough. If not, then well, I guess I walk part of the way.
Protocol engaged.
Anyway, so let's actually warp in a little bit out side of where we need to go. So, I mean, technically, I did just remember that since this is a mission, main mission task, I could have gotten free T-drive charges.
Sublight.
But oh well. In fact, let's actually stop and save before we go to the battle.
Initiating sublight.
Another thing that I probably should be thinking of is the 2 cruisers that are built. The Freedom Division, all 2 of them. Join the Borealises.
Affirmative.
Okay, now we can go.
Sublight.
Use the chaos of the battle to get close to the Proxima and fire the trigger.
Proxima is on the horizon. We should use the trigger as soon as possible.
Alright, so basically cut out of...
The last thing I'll do.
So now I gotta make certain that it does the emergency jump. Let's actually cloak, because I'm taking fire.
Only the cold tempers the soul.
I guess we'll all have to go sometime.
Okay, should be cloaked. Why are my shields taking damage?
Not really smart, are you?
I mean, the War Masters being present kind of gives a clue as to the fact that we're here.
All batteries fire at will.
Emergency what? The hell is going on?
Alright, I'm assuming that was Emmerich's talking. So let's boost the shields. Alright, so the first server says that's it. Scouts report to Proxima. Jump to the maelstrom. Go there now. Alright, let's get out of here. I'm sure the Allied fleets can take care of their own. Well, those guys can take care of their own. And we need to go next to... where... Wait, what? Hang on. Where's the next objective? Oh. The maelstrom's down here. Remember when I said no plan survives first contact? I misjudged where the maelstrom was. I guess I probably should have read it on the map. Is there a T-gate here? There is a T-gate here. I'll have you jump here. Is there a T-gate nearby this place? There is, maybe? There is. Exit here. I'm assuming the cruisers are going to follow.
Proceed with caution, Captain. We've encountered the henchmen of a criminal with a bounty set on their life.
Oh, okay, cool. I'll take this opportunity to let the, carriers get into position.
Everyone to the escape pod!
Enemy down.
Alright, let's send a boarding team over to this cruiser, just simply because it's kind of, well, unique looking.
You won't take us about it.
Alright, we got 33 people left on the bridge, and it's a 99% chance of taking the ship. And we've pacified the ship. Okay, so send the holo headquarters and add it to the collection of stuff we can build at Concordia.
Engaging sublight.
And there's still one destroyer left. So how come they didn't tell me where the pirate board is, well, the bounty is? Because we didn't kill off all of his flunkies yet. Scavenging the debris revealed traces of elements tied to a particular location. We're set to proceed. And he's actually, she's right, Annabelle Karn is actually right there. For 8.5 million.
Engage sublight.
Let's go do something stupid. Okay, so the cruiser did not join them in the through the T-gate. And here we are.
Affirmative.
Cloak.
Engaging cloak.
Because she's in a dreadnought.
I, fire at will command executed.
Let's keep the fighters for the maelstrom.
Kill the engines and kill the burra.
Did I lose one of my War Masters? Terra's gone. That's annoying.
Port shield is at half capacity.
Cloak the vessel.
Port shield down to 25%, Captain. Cloaking system initiated. I, fire at will command executed.
If you had any brains in that head of yours, you wouldn't have done that.
Yeah, well, I'm not known for... Might be losing another War Master.
On station. Breach. This cannot be!
Alright, there goes my second War Master.
Starboard shield is at half capacity.
Alright, so clearly fighting this lady without a full fleet is a very bad idea. I mean, I can't do a boarding action because it's a special character, and by default they have biometric shielding. So now I'm completely out of everything but forward shields.
Front shield down to 25%, Captain. Shields restored, Captain.
And so we just keep slogging away.
Shield reactivation complete.
It was either them or us, Captain, but the bounty has been paid.
Okay, we actually won that. Didn't actually expect to win. Kinda secretly hoping I wouldn't because I lost 2 War Masters, and it'll give me an excuse to reload a prior save. But we won, and we now have 8.5 million in the bank. So let's head to Fahrenheit, back to Fahrenheit. Just simply because... So position the Thunder troops there. Plus side, the other 2 cruisers are done. So if we go to Concordia, let us purchase Terra and Nika's ships again. And so hopefully traveling to Fahrenheit, and hopefully we'll be able to refit and repair there. We'll buy time for Terra and Nika's ships to be rebuilt, after which they can join the Thunder troops and, well, us, all the way back at the Maelstrom, where we can hopefully hit the Proxima with the combined might of literally everything I can muster. Although I do have plenty of materials, I could actually build more cruisers. I mean, I got spare fleet power. Alright, so I can get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-ish? 5-ish extra cruisers. So we did kind of help save their planet, so hopefully they'll be amenable to us landing and helping fix the ship real quick. So let's rearm and repair. And just sell all this stuff because it's just sitting in the way. And then we leave. Alright, so let's travel to this T-gate.
New coordinates. Affirmative.
And then head up here. Just simply so that way, it gives time for Concordia to build Terra and Nika's new ships. I mean, Terra Higgs pilots a Borealis. It's going to take forever just to build. It is at 11.6% when I checked, and I put it in as I was traveling to the planet of Fahrenheit. Let's research, just simply because I'm looking at it and I have a whole pile of resources and cash and all that stuff. Let's research the Titan Prosperity, which is some sort of massive freight liner I can purchase. For no other reason than simply because I can. Sure, we're going to the T-gate, right? I kind of wish the ships would be built faster, but Concordia is the only place that can build the Mark II Zodiacs. Or, as far as I know, even the War Master vessels. I mean, I do have Skelling, Zeon, and Narix, which get me a bunch of extra cruisers. I can build the Fenrir at Zeon and Skelling, and the Eris at Narix, but it's just not the same. No, it's because these are still only Tier 1 vessels. Unlike the Concordia line of vessels, I can't actually upgrade the Eris through research. Apparently, if I can find a Mark II Eris, I can capture it through boarding action and send it back to Concordia for research at that point, but just put one Eris in. I don't have materials to build another one. I think it's this one up here. That way it's just close by. I mean, at this point, I don't think I have enough command points to build any extra ships other than what's in the queue. Plus that, the Titan Prosperity is now available for construction to serve as a personal ship. Because nothing says badass warlord like a cushy luxury liner. Anyway, back to Concordia we go.
Course adjusted.
Alright, so Higgs's Borealis is still less than halfway done.
Adjusting ship rotation.
So this is going to be counterproductive to the grand scheme. Let's extract the gas pocket just simply because it's on the way and it wastes time.
Affirmative. Engage sublight.
I'm guessing these are my two cruisers.
Concordia, sleep safe with you at its guard.
Yes, let's solve this. Let's do some extra research for fun. So, Prosperity is a 110 million. I mean, just flags it as Titan. I mean, it has less side turrets. Well, the port and starboard turrets are fewer than on the Asteria. But then again, if I look at the Borealis, the carrier, which is supposedly the more powerful vessel compared to the Asteria, it also has less side guns. Although does have one more light turret on the fore and aft, whereas the Prosperity has the same number on the fore and aft as well. And it can field 2 fighters, whereas the Borealis can field 3. Although it does have more powerful shields. So it's twice the hull and 4,000, over 10 times the over 11 times the cargo space, I should say. So, I mean, it's an idea. Although the Dynasty Freightliner, which is also a Freightliner, has even less turrets and even no aft light turrets. So, I mean, if Prosperity is actually a Freightliner, it's a comparatively heavily armed Freightliner. But looking at that, doesn't get Terra's ship built. Terra and Nika's ships built, I should say. She's still at 51%. So I don't feel like waiting. So as fun as this is. Alright, so I was going to say, as fun as it is, let's just reload, but I realized that both the standard autosave and the autosave on dock are after I lost Nika and Higgs. So I either fight the Proxima without them, or I wait until their ships are built. So let's just waste some time. I mean, I'm sure Amex is perfectly fine just sitting in the maelstrom. Let's go find a nice passive job. Like, say, this salvage gig right here, or actually this one because it pays slightly more. Prospector is interesting, but I tried one of those in between last episode and now, trying to scrounge money for more guns, and it didn't work out because it's not just case show up, gather resources, and go home. It's show up, gather resources, and drop them off at some sort of traveling hauling vessel. And I couldn't find the traveling hauling vessel, so I don't know if it's just like random. I couldn't randomly find it, or the game, for whatever reason, in one form or another, didn't actually cause it to spawn. And the Halo 3 is now researched. Actually, no, the Halo 2 is now researched. The Halo 3 can now be researched. Except I don't have the gas nor the materials to do so. Same with, well, pretty much anything that I need more of. Although, I can... Now let's research the ability to have the civilian fleets defend themselves better. Even though they're currently all sitting idle. So, we should probably just send them out and about. What are you? Ore for materials. I got a ridiculously large pile of ore. You're selling materials for ore? No, thank you. Just a random science survey. Derelict convoy. Enable a gas run. And another gas run. And that's all the civilian fleets. And I'm here at the salvage place. One thing I do like about these salvage missions is that they give you free scavenger swarms. I currently have, not counting the one that I just deployed, 101 scavenger swarm usages, and I'm fairly certain I've never actually purchased any of them. Or at the very least, I've only purchased a few. Every scavenger swarm that I currently have in the cargo bay to use is one that I basically picked up for the salvage runs, and since it's randomized exactly which salvage has what I'm looking for, there are plenty of times when I end up with more spare salvage swarms than I've actually used, so I get to keep the extra. I won't complain. Just fire these off here.
Making a name for ourselves, one job at a time.
Yeah, see, the second one was the thing that I needed. And Nyrix has spit out its cruiser. It's going to have that join my fleet.
Fleets have returned.
Archangels. And so I'm not going to waste time until the War Master ships are done. After that, I'm going to hit the Maelstrom with every ship I have access to at the moment.
Focusing scanning beam on
So let's
target.
scan this neat-looking anomaly. Let's stop to do so. And it's gone now. It can't hurt anybody anymore. And let's head back to Concordia. Because not only do I have to wait for Terra Higgs' vessel to be done, I also have to wait for Nika's as well. And I don't think the Dreadnought takes as long as the carrier, but still. I'm surprised Nika and Maxon haven't actually upgraded to carriers yet. But then again, they're not piloting Concordia-style vessels, so it could be a case that their tech tree line ends at Dreadnought, but I'd be surprised if that's the case. I'm fairly certain the vessel of the class that the manufacturer type that Max is piloting does also field a carrier as well. Same with Nika. But they don't switch to carriers, at least not yet, not at the level that they're currently at. And for some reason, Higgs didn't actually get a Dreadnought. She jumped straight from battleship to carrier. Fun little fact.
We at Concordia salute you, Captain.
Cool. Alright, so just sell off all the fun little stuff I picked up, including chemical weapons. Why plasma rifles are illegal everywhere, but chemical weapons aren't, I don't fully understand, but lots of little knick-knacky things about this game I just don't get. Alright, so Higgs's Borealis is almost done, actually. Was at like 86% when I was done the job, and 97% now. Okay, so this delivery job wants me to take a package to deliver to Fainha, which is the planet that I think got torched by Emerix. Everything else is a military job. I mean, this one's the junk reclaimer, but it's timed, so... Oh, it's close. Let's do this one.
You're good to go. See you again.
Yeah, so it's timed. So I basically got to get to the waypoint as fast as possible. Technically, I guess I could use a T-drive charge, but that seems excessive for something that close. And Higgs's Borealis is done.
Be paid for this.
Right, I wasn't paying attention, so I have absolutely no idea what was said. Guess we just transport over.
Completed our assignment on time.
And we go up to level 44. We get 1 skill point and 1 perk point. So if I look at the skills and perks, I have enough skill points now to get exposed from level 6, where it's at, to level 7, where the other two are at, and execute is dependent upon the level that I'm currently at. As for the perk points, I have absolutely no idea what exactly I want. I mean, I could go with weapons training, but I like having all of my weapons even, so never bother with that. could go with ship training, but every time I think about a vessel familiarity, I'm like 2 chassis is higher than it already. And I guess I could go with carrier or dreadnought. Carrier would be the end grouping of where it's at, although if I end up getting that Titan that I saw, it wouldn't have any familiarity with anything. I mean, field logistics helps with structure construction. I would think that that's only dealing with Concordia, but I think that's any structure. And all production, and if I get Freemason, all production conducted at HQ is done 35% faster. I wonder if that includes ships, in which case, I should have gotten that a long time ago. But anyway, let's head back here. How many time it took to get from there to here? Like, already up by like 10%. Alright, so what's over here? A couple Corvettes, half-orbited destroyer, a dead Corvette. What are you? Oh, a battleship.
One of our fleets have finished their job.
Let's go kill it just to waste time.
Adjusting access elevation.
I never understand why enemy vessels just get this too close to Concordia. They know this is where we operate out of. They know this is where all of our big guns stay. I don't know. Maybe if they keep sending ships this way, they think we'll keep all of our good toys over here just so that way we don't lose what we got. Let's do another salvage run. Let's do this salvage run because it's got a slightly higher reward.
Take care as you take your leave.
Affirmative. Engage sublight.
As I smack into a piece of junk. I should point out I now have over 105 scavenger swarms. Like I said, do enough of these and they build. I did punch one at this one, right? Equipment is already in use at the target. Okay then. That one's too far away. Item not found. This one's also too far away. That one I think I already hit with one. Let's go fire it off there. Let's collect everything here. Go that one as well. And this one. And this one I think is out of range. I think the scavenger swarms have a range of 3,000 units.
Making a name for ourselves, one job at a time.
And I found it.
HQ reports one of our
all the
fleets
stuff.
have returned.
Just shoot some junk just for fun. And a little bit of profit. You out of range? You're actually out of range. Anywho.
Course adjusted.
Let's head back to Concordia. What's the ET on Nike's ship?
Sublight.
She's halfway done. So it took about a quarter for... they built a quarter of a vessel in the time it took to get out here. Hopefully it'll be another quarter by the time we get back.
Adjusting access elevation.
Mess around, and by that time, Emmerichs will figure out how to get the Proxima out of the Maelstrom, and we'll miss our target because
Reporting in. All is well.
I wasted time and got people killed. Let's go on this salvage run next.
Initiating sublight.
Neck is still at 60%, so gunship, Corvette. Yeah, I've already flown past them. Random anomaly. A lot of derelicts right here. So then we just start scavenging.
Our employer has been notified. The credits have been transferred.
Alright, so apparently the first one had what we were looking for. So I guess the other 4 that I just fired off were just extra fun stuff, and we get a net of 1 extra salvage scavenger swarm. Just collect all of that, and be on our way.
Realigning course.
Alright, so Nika's halberd's now over 3/4 done. It was at 60. It was just shy of 60, so she got what, about 18% done on the way out, hopefully 18% on the way back, and then we just wait a minute or two, she'll be done, and then we can hit the maelstrom.
We received a report that nearby anomalies are disturbing the local residents. There is a reward. Should we investigate?
Sure, I gotta waste time.
Engaging sublight. Focusing
Scan this.
Target.
On to the next one.
It's a bit far out.
Initiating
Target that one. Boy, these anomalies are spread out.
HQ sends word that one of our fleets have finished their task. Scanning target.
On to the next one. On to the next one.
Alright, the next one is... that's Concordia.
Engaging sublight. Initiating target scan.
Anomaly neutralized.
Initiating sublight.
Alright, we practically flew into the anomaly. Or at the very least,
Hostile target
clean
just disengaged
through it.
T-drive. They are coming our way.
Okay. I mean, are these them? In which case, they're gonna have a very bad day.
Eliminated.
Get to the pod!
Yeah, it's basically a bunch of very small vessels against some very big ones.
You're attacking me with that?
Yes. Yes, we are.
Both decks report fires and casualties. We'll drink some hogwash in heaven.
Alright, so I'm guessing you're all dead now.
Target is down.
So where's the next closest anomaly?
Scanning object.
On to the next one.
Initiating sublight.
Alright, jumped out of sublight too quickly. Of course, by the time I jump back into sublight, I'll be within scan range anyway.
Scanning object.
This one messes with sensors apparently, given the sensor
All the anomalies. I
balls
informed the
going
authorities,
haywire.
and they transferred a reward.
Oh goody.
Affirmative. Engage sublight. Aligning ship to plane.
And in the time it took to do that, NECA's ship is done, and they've built over half a cruiser.
Personal greetings to you, Captain. Always a welcome sight.
Alright, so let's dock and empty the cargo bay and make certain all the ammo bins are full and all the armor plating's welded on and all that fun stuff. I won't try dock, and everything's good in terms of hull and ammo.
You've cleared the dock.
So let's have NECA join the fleet. I'm tempted to wait for that cruiser, but I've been filming for quite a while and I don't feel like waiting. Well, part of me doesn't feel like waiting. I mean, if NECA joins the Honor Armada smoothly and it's not some sort of weird flying around in a circle deal. I was going to say, if the cruiser gets done before NECA joins the Honor Armada, I'll have the cruiser join in as well, but that didn't happen, so let us save.
Activating
Then we use our
T-drive.
T drives to link up with the main fleet. I should say to have the main fleet link up with us.
Engaging sublight.
Because apparently this many vessels in one fleet, they got to do this weird little dancing thing. You guys, we're burning daylight. Let's go. Come on. Alright, and it's all one fleet. The Honor Armada is once again practically every ship I have. Certainly every War Master and Super Capital vessel. So let's have them follow me again. I'm just curious, by the time it took to do this, one cruiser's already been done, and rather than waiting for the one cruiser of the Starshield fleet to travel all the way down here to link up with the Honor Armada. I'm just going to keep it in reserve for if and when we destroy this and then have to go to war with something else. Are you approaching or not? It kind of looks like it. They're just slow going. It's going to be a case I'm going to have to travel to my fleet, isn't it? Well, there's some of them. Alright, and we should be good.
Engaging sublight.
Just saved once again.
Engage sublight.
Just that way I don't have to deal with the fleets merging again. So I have Nekka's Halberd, Terra Higgs's Borealis, Maxon's Praetorian, 5 generic Borealis carriers, 4 generic Zodiac cruisers, and 1 generic Eris cruiser. That's my main fleet. Add in the extra Zodiac frigates, cruisers that are being built, I'm sorry. And I have a total fleet command points of 42,177 spent. And this fleet power is at 46,434.
A minefield is around the Proxima.
If you knock out the small controller structure, the minefield should detonate.
Alright, so
Engage sublight.
they deployed a minefield in the time that it took for us to get to book the vessel.
Engaging. Cloak.
Should point out, our primary fleet's following me in. Right, and there it goes.
Is down.
Instead, there's now an entire fleet and at least 2 War Masters. I'm assuming one's the Proxima. That's the Iron Storm inhibitor. Yep, that's the Proxima. Alright. Launch the fighters. Because if any time is the time to use the fighters, now it is. It's now.
Not really smart, are you? We're going down.
Set the turrets to auto fire and watch as they kill everybody. Boost the shields, even though the EMP effect, I think, is what's actually causing most, if not all, of the damage. That cruiser's dead. Alright, so there's an Asteria Dreadnought, piloted by Emerix, the old boss, and a battleship piloted by Scarlet. I believe the leader of the Oath, so Black Oath, so everybody pile on her, and let's take these 2 out, and then eventually disable the Proxima, I guess.
No one attacks me units to tell about it.
Alright, everybody pile on. Apparently she's been neutralized. In that case, everybody pile on Emmerich's. Yeah, I'm assuming I can't deploy troops. And, Maxton has been pacified. So, how do we disable the Proxima? Can't send personnel over. I'm guessing we just shoot it until it dies.
Starboard shield is at half capacity.
Okay, so somebody by the name of Evangelic Captain, I'm guessing that's a generic captain, says, "This is the Evangelic of the Core Worlds Alliance. Stand down." What the heck is the Core Worlds Alliance? Oh, and then we respond with, "This does not concern you, Evangelic. We'll handle this." Negative. The CW is taking over the Proxima. Leave the area, you will be considered a target. And my options are, I can't allow that, or Diplomacy 3. Evangelic, you don't know what you're getting yourself into. Let us handle the Proxima. We can beat each other senseless later. I'm guessing if I say I can't allow that, I start fighting the CWA, and if I use Diplomacy, which I actually have a point in for once, we avoid that fight. So let's actually avoid the fight, and allow you to regain control over that monstrosity so you can turn it against us. I'm guessing we go to war anyway. When we're done with it, there won't be anything left of the Proxima. You're just quiet. And Trace goes, "They've cut the comm feed, sir, but I'm reading their ships are retreating to a safe distance." I guess it worked. Guess it did.
Starboard shield down to 25%, Captain.
As we bounce off the Proxima, and then we turn it to dust.
Rats are leaving the sinking ship.
So Cal Emmerichs goes, "You Kern, you have no idea what you've just done. I blew up a super weapon so you can't kill anybody else." And I reply with, "You'll pay for your crimes against the Concord and the rest of Gemini." And then Emmerichs goes with, "Concord is weak, you don't deserve the Proxima, you don't deserve to exist." And my responses are, "Think this through, Cal, you don't stand a chance," or Diplomacy 3, "It's not too late, Emmerichs. Turn yourself in, I can promise you a fair trial." As much as I want to kill him for what he did to the planet of Phanos, discretion is the better part of valor, and I like using these extra bits, the extra skill-based responses, so I can promise you a fair trial, mostly. Why, of course, why don't I just shut down my engines? No, in fact, I'll go to Concordia and waltz into the prison myself. Go float yourself. And then Basara replies with, "I'll take that offer." And Emmerichs goes, "Emery, what the hell are you doing?" And she replies with, "It beats getting killed out here. Sorry, sweetie. I like living." Of course, to be fair, she did end up breaking out of Concordia's prison once. Who's to say she doesn't have plans to do it again? And the first officer states that the Scarlet is shutting down, sir. Emmerichs replies with, "The heck with you." And then tactical officer replies, which is a picture I haven't seen yet, even though he's apparently been on the ship the entire time, because I'm assuming he's our tactical officer. "Calmly severed, sir. Emmerichs is making an attack run on the Scarlet." I'm inclined to leave them be. Somehow he's not only at full health, but fully underpowered. Alright, so everybody kill Emmerichs. I grapple him. That's scan, not grapple. Are we even doing any damage against this ship? I'm not entirely certain. Yeah, we're doing some small shield damage.
Scarlet is in pieces.
Apparently he killed her, so I don't have to worry about her. And I guess it's story scripted that we can't kill him until after he takes out Ben Sara, which I probably should not complain about. Alright, so Kaylin Brackett, the new boss, states, "Amazing work, Arden. You've certainly outdone yourself. Both Emmerichs and Ben Sara are dead. You'll never cause chaos and destruction again. I hope the rest of Gemini will now understand that we're not the Empire." What about the Proxima? "I'll send support fleets to secure it and get it back to the shipyard safely, where after fixing it, the Proxima will serve its original purpose. A warning that Solari Conquered will not be pushed around, that we can defend ourselves. I thought we were going to blow it up. Get yourself to Concordia, Regent. Your exemplary performance exonerates both Warden Trace and you from any wrongdoing in the matter of the Council. I will see to it myself." So basically, we were successful, so we're not going to get executed. What about Emmerich's supporters? We'll handle it. Two of you have proven time and again that your place is on Concordia. Thank you, Counselor Brackett. And campaign completed. I'm guessing the Proxima left.
In a strange twist of fate, the attack on the planet Ferris was thwarted by the forces of the Solari Concord, the same faction responsible for the construction of the Proxima. What little is known of the recent incidents speaks of an internal strife between the several council members, further aided by an outside group known as the Black Oath. Citizens all over Gemini eagerly await an official statement from the Concord Exile Council, after the Concord apparently regained full control over the superweapon. The question remains, what will Concord do next?
I mean, there are plenty of options. Alright, so there we go. Should we be fighting the Ion Storm inhibitor? Let's recall the fighters and its flagged enemies, so let's just open fire. I mean, this is taking forever. I say that as it's down to like 8% health. And there it goes. And we shoot Emmerich's derelict, just for fun, profit, and we get out of here. Because us taking the Proxima when we said we were going to destroy it probably is not going to have this Central Worlds Alliance all that happy. Although as for what we can use the Proxima for, I got plenty of things I can use it for. Well, two exactly. Basically taking out these two pirate planets, so that way they stop threatening me and my allies. In the meantime,
Preparing for T-jump.
let's just T-drive all the way back. Alright, and my ship losses are nobody. I have all 3 War Masters, 5 carriers, and 5 cruisers. So I over-prepared for no apparent reason. In the time it took to do all of that, all but 2 Zodiacs have been built. Well, okay then.
Matching planar alignment now.
I guess I was expecting a greater fight.
We at Concordia salute you, Captain.
Of course, if I wasn't such an expert diplomat, I probably would be fighting the Central Worlds Alliance and be at war with them, too. Alright, so... First server says, sir, incoming signal from the Starpoint, whatever that is. Unknown, static, Starpoint's at the stars. Static Armada, static request assistance, static end signal. What could that be? Unknown signature, we can't be sure. We should approach the Starpoint with extreme caution. So, I'm guessing this is part of some sort of... It's either some part of a DLC that I had installed or purchased and installed and didn't realize it, or it's part of the main campaign, but it did say the main campaign is over, so... I mean, I do know that the Leviathan DLC exists, and is currently installed with the game. So... Now, you would expect the centralized star to be in the middle of the map, but no, it's over here. So I have to travel to the Gemini Protectorate and see what's going on with this mission, because apparently that's next. Even though we managed to... I mean, I'm fairly certain Phaneros is, well, still a scarred wasteland.
Affirmative.
But we've secured the Proxima.
I'm not staying here to die.
And now our entire fleet, such as it is now one big happy armada. But just when you think everything is over, there's still more to do. So I actually didn't quite know what to expect, but so we secured the Proxima from those who stole it, killed those who stole it, and I guess we rebuild and focus on more important things like securing what territory we have, helping our allies secure what territory is threatening them, and figuring out what random signal is going on down here at the stars of Gemini. The literally Gemini stars. And, I don't know, should be interesting. I mean, if worse comes to worse, we do have a massive super weapon class capital vessel. I am surprised that there is no carrier chapter, though. But, maybe it'll say upgrade to carrier during whatever else is next. But, am I moving? No, I'm not. I just somehow targeted a friendly vessel that's moving. But we certainly have more ships in the fleet than I ever had in the past, so that's always a plus. But as for the signal, I'm going to have to save that for next time, because I'm going to call it here.
Everybody stay safe from the plague, and have a good day.